Looking to make your stories more flexible by allowing your users to customize how information is displayed? You can leverage scripting to load filter widgets programmatically with measures from a model and configure buttons to deselect and select all values in those widgets. Keep in mind that you must be in advanced mode to add a filter widget, such as the checkbox group. You can delete the existing default values, as you'll be loading values into the checkbox group using scripting. Make sure to give the newly created widget a unique name so you can easily reference it in your script. In the styling panel, you can modify information for the widget, such as its label. You can also modify the appearance of the widget to suit your styling preferences. Now that you've set up the checkbox group, you can add all the measures as checkbox options. First, you can create a script variable to store all the measures. Script variables are used to store values of a specific type and offer the advantage of being reusable throughout your scripts. You can configure the properties of the script variable in the right side panel. Give the script variable a descriptive name, set the type to string, and enable the toggle to make the script variable an array. In scripting, an array is a collection of multiple elements of the same type, so this is a script variable that stores an array of strings. Once you've created the script variable, you can add scripting to programmatically load the measures as checkbox values. This should happen when the page loads, so you can apply the script to the onInitialization event of the page. First, create a variable to store the data source for the table. And then create another variable to store the measures from that data source. The measures variable now stores an array of measures. You can iterate over each measure inside this array and load it as an option in the checkbox group widget using a for loop. You can initialize a counter variable to keep track of the loop's current position. Then, you can define the condition that will keep the loop running as long as its value is true. This indicates how many times the loop will run. Now, you can update the counter by incrementing the loop variable after each iteration, followed by a pair of braces. Inside the braces, you can write the script for adding each element inside the measures array to the checkbox group widget. To do this, declare more variables to get the member ID and description for each measure. You can then call the addItem method on the checkbox group, supplying the variables for the ID and description of the current measure in the loop as parameters. You can also push the ID of each measure to the allMeasures script variable initialized earlier. To ensure that all the checkbox values are selected by default, you can call the setSelectedKeys method on the checkbox group and pass the allMeasures script variable as a parameter. After you've completed writing the script to load all the measures within the checkbox group, you can save your changes and then switch over to view mode to see the results. The checkbox group has been updated to include all the measures from the table, with all measures selected by default. You can select and deselect measures as needed. Keep in mind that you haven't yet set up the scripting to pass this selection to the table and chart, so selecting values here doesn't change what data is displayed. To further increase the flexibility of your story, you can enable users to easily select or deselect all options by adding button widgets below the checkbox group to perform each action. To make them easy to reference in your script, you can give each button widget a distinct name. You can also customize their labels to describe their functionality. You can apply the button class name to these button widgets so that they match the style of the other button widgets. To select all the options when the associated button is clicked, you can apply a script to its on-click event. Call the setSelectedKeys method on the checkbox group and pass the allMeasures script variable as a parameter. You can repeat the same process for the other button, passing an empty array as a parameter instead. Once you've written the logic for the buttons, you can save your changes again and switch over to view mode to see it in action. Clicking the Remove All button deselects the checkbox options, while clicking Select All reselects them. Check out the next video in the series to learn how to build on the logic demonstrated here, so that measures selected in this checkbox group are reflected in the table and chart. And for more information on filtering tables and charts using the selections of the checkbox group, visit the links in the description and try it for yourself today.